and we'll catch up with a couple guys that basically they look at it kind of like pass first to set up the run, or at least that's the way they seem to be playing within their team structure. And that's Nathan Rourke, quarterback for the Burlington Stampeders, the JV program, and Nick Gorgachuk of the Myers Riders. They'll be coming up in just a moment here on the CFC's Summer Show. And welcome back to the Ontario Summer Show here on the CFC. I'm your host, Wayne Jacobs, and we're lucky enough now to have with us potential record-breaking QB Nathan Rourke with the Burlington Stampeders. Nathan, thanks a lot for joining us today.
Thanks, Wayne, for having me.
It's our pleasure. It's our pleasure. Your name has continually popped up right now in terms of players to watch at the JV level. And I mean, just some staggering numbers. In 5 games alone, you've got over 20 touchdown passes, which is impressive on its own. More impressive fact is that you're out of most games by halftime or early in the third quarter. Let's just talk, before we go into some of these numbers in your actual season right now, let's talk a little about your background, Nathan. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what grade you're in?
All right. I've been, this is going to be my 7th year playing football with the Burlington Stampeder organization. I'm in grade 9, and basically I've been playing, for a long time. I love the game, and it's something I've always enjoyed playing. I've been under the same coaching staff for the 7 years that I've played, so that's why I'm so comfortable with the offense that we have.
No, that makes perfect sense, and I mean that leads to the perfect lead into my next 2 questions. This is kind of twofold question. A, have you always played quarterback? And then B, talk about just how much easier it makes when you've had that same coaching staff for so long.
Well, my first year when I played rep, they had an older quarterback, so I actually played a little bit of defense, if you can believe that. I played outside linebacker. Just for 1 year, and that was my first year rep football, as I said. But then growing with this coaching staff that I have has been a really great experience for me, because I know the playbook. New quarterbacks coming in, I can teach them, or new players actually coming in, I can give them an insight from a player standpoint. Me and my coach almost think, telepathically between each other, because I know what he's saying and he knows what I'm saying. So it makes everything a lot easier.
No, which is super important to be on that same page, and I mean it makes a big difference having that continuity, if you will. Nathan, you're with Burlington in the summer. Where do you play your fall football?
I go to Holy Trinity Secondary School. And I played junior this year, and I'm going to be playing senior this fall.
And how do you compare the rep or the OFC summer experience to your high school season? Not to take anything away from the high school environment, but the level of competitiveness is a little bit higher in rep. People they want to go places. They want they want to get exposure. There's a little bit more dedication, more motivation. To want to play football. My high school coach is, he's a great guy. He knows football, but we have a really small roster this year, and that's a big difference from rep. Not everyone plays Burlington Stampeders going to an Oakville school. A lot of them are in Halton Cowboys, Oakville Titans, and there's a significant difference going into the camp and playing high school. No, that's what I've been told. And I mean, and obviously the rep league, like you said, it's more of a program based only on football, whereas high school, I mean, for the athletes at the time, football's the main sport, but you have a whole wide range of sports programs, and I'm sure that the coaches actually probably do double duty in some other sports. So that makes perfect sense. Now, Nathan, let's talk a little bit about the season you've been having right now. Call it what it is right now. A lot of the games that you guys have faced have been one-sided games. You've been out of the game early in the third quarter for good reason. How do you, 2 things. How do you yourself maintain your focus on getting the W and playing your game and not getting caught up in all the hype with the numbers? Because, I mean, let's call it what it is, Nathan. I know I got to talk to you briefly. You're a modest young man, but you're putting up some crazy numbers. How do you kind of focus on the big picture and not get caught up in the hype? Well, as a role as a leader on the football field, you know, you just gotta remember this is a team sport. I can't do it without, you know, linemen in front of me giving me the time that I need. You know, receivers catching the ball. You know, like it's a team effort. I'm not the one who is responsible for everything. You know, I just gotta keep remembering that, you know, it's just a game. It doesn't I'm only in grade 9. I got 4 years ahead of me. Stats aren't that important at the moment. And the only stat that I should be wondering about, or numbers that I should be wondering about, is on the scoreboard. So in the end of the day, that's it. Once we get the W, I mean, that's all that really counts.
And talking about the W's, again, we referenced that, you know, you guys are clearly the class of the league, if not of the province. How do you maintain that focus in some of the lower, when you're playing some of these teams that you know you're going to beat by 40, 50, even 60 points in some cases, and keep that focus for those games that you know, without losing sight of the games you're playing now, but you know the tougher ones are coming up?
Just to take every game, you know, play by play, you know, just live for the moment, like, you know, just have respect for your opponent, because the worst thing we can do is just beat ourselves, you know what I mean? So, yeah, we just have to stay modest, stay in our game, and, you know, everything will turn out okay.
No, that makes perfect sense. Just a couple more questions for you, and and you were speaking of your old linemen and other teammates, so I'll leave this in the back of your mind right now. And before we go, if you wanted to give a shout out to anybody, say hi to anybody, and I won't put you on the spot right now. It'll give you a minute to think about it. Now, in terms of yourself, I mean, again, it's quite impressive. A young man your age, you got the team focus, you got the natural leadership. Just in the brief time I've talked to you, now you know what. I know you're going to be a little bit modest here, but let's talk about Nathan for a second. What are some of your both short-term and long-term goals?
Well, you know, as a kid, you have those dreams of, you know, being a professional athlete, whether it was basketball or football, for me personally, and just become a professional athlete and get paid for something I love and I would do every day for free. That is my dream, and that's my long-term goal. Short term is just, you know, to get better, push myself all the time. I mean, that's the kind of person I am. I like to work hard and, you know that I took something away from, like a practice, a game, you know, I always like to get better. And so, you know, it doesn't really matter what it is. It's just knowing that I did my best at everything that I do.
No, well, Nathan, in the brief time that I've talked to you, you definitely seem like a young man focused, and I don't see any reason why you can't achieve your goals and actually exceed them, my friend. So I wish you the best of luck with that. Now, I got two more questions, well, more of a question than a statement. We talked a little bit about it. We talked about Burlington. We talked about last year's championship, both with yourself at the bantam level, and now the JV team you're playing for, although you weren't a part of it, are the defending champs. A lot of talk. Who's better, Mississauga, Brampton? Will they ever get to play? Is this something you would love to get a chance to do, to go toe-to-toe with Mississauga?
I mean, anytime that we get the chance to, you know, play a team at a high level, I mean, that's always something I would want to do. I think our organization would like to do. But, you know, at this point in time when there's two separate leagues, I mean, it's really out of our control. So, I mean, we can talk about it as much as we would like to, but unless it happens, we can never really see, like, you know, what would actually happen. But, you know, I would love to. I mean, it wouldn't really hurt anybody, you know.
No, I hear you. And you know what? Sometimes it's one of those things in life, too, where it's almost more fun not to play them, and then everybody can speculate for the years to come. Who would have won? Who would have won? No, that's perfect. Well, I'll leave you with this note. Was there anybody you wanted to give a shout-out to, any of your teammates, or even for that matter? It was Holy Trinity High, did you say?
Yeah.
Anybody at Holy Trinity? Any family members? Anybody you want to say hi to?
Yeah, it's my mom's birthday today, so happy birthday. She's, I think, 29. No, I'm joking.
No,
but
leave it at that. I'm going to cut you off right there. You just earned about brownie points, my friend. So we'll say hi, and we'll say hi and a big happy 29th birthday to Nathan's mom right there in Oakville.
Oh my goodness!
I hope you're doing something special for tonight. Well, Nathan, I won't keep you any longer. I'll let you get ready to prep in the festivities. Again, congratulations on finishing up grade 9. Was it? I believe you just finished your exams the past day, and we'll be keeping an eye on you. I want to thank you for joining us on the summer show today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me, Wayne.
Hey, my pleasure. It's a pleasure speaking with you, and I wish you the best of luck for the rest of your season and in the playoffs, and I'm sure that we'll have an opportunity to talk as things get a little tighter in OFC action.
Yeah, all right.
Perfect. That was Nathan Rourke, quarterback, first-year quarterback for the JV Burlington Stampeders. This is Wayne Jacobs, and you're watching the Ontario Summer Show here on the CFC, brought to you by Carleton Ravens Football.